So it's cold out here, but it ain't that cold. It's like kind of cold, like slim thick. Like it's cold, but it ain't cold. Like you slim, but you thick. All right, so I wanted to talk about um, coming into the age of Aquarius. So there are specific eras, right? So an era is about 2,000, a little over 2,000 years. So in terms, we're talking about shifts in astrological shifts, but for the collective, and we're talking about around like 2,000 years. So we're at the cusp between the Piscean and Aquarian, and in the age of Aquarius. So we're at the cusp. We're coming into the age of Aquarius. So that's why these sweeping changes are happening. You know, these are meant to happen. Everybody wants to ask the question like, is this the government or is this an act of God? It's both. Everything is an act of God. It's all an act of God, and it's all, you know what I'm saying? However that comes about, through the government, through lies, through trying to control the public, it's all an act of God, because we act like we are in control. We are not in control of the outcome. So even the powers that be, the ones that we call the 1%, the ones that are controlling things, have no control. And you see it, and the good part is that you see it reflected in the change of the times, right? So going from the Piscean era into the age of Aquarius, the change that we see is happening regardless of the people who are trying to control the shifts in control the public, in spite of people who have control. So a little bit about the Piscean era. All right, so I changed locations. Anyway, the Piscean era is what we're in right now. The Pisces actually rules like specific ideals, right? So like they don't. It's not about questioning the status quo. It's like sacrificing in order to fit into what's happening. So like Pisces is a mutable sign, meaning that the Pisces adapts, right? So with that adaptation, we were in an era where everybody adapted to the standard, right? And anybody outside of that standard or outside of that ideal was wrong. And also like Pisces is also self-sacrificing. So the institutions that we held up required self-sacrifice in order to sustain itself. Like, so every institution, the schools, the churches, religion in general, like the government, all of it required that, right? And Pisces is about is the dreamer, right? So Pisces is in this dream world, not meaning that. So like, even, okay, take a religion. You think about Christianity, right? Christianity, we are, and within Christianity, we're born sinners and we're dreaming of a better existence once we die, right? That's really how we were taught about Christianity. Whereas coming into the age of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius is the revolutionary. So they're trying to break those boundaries. They're trying to discredit the lies and not give into the institutions. They're about the individual. So it's really about social change. So like, you'd see things where everybody is now on manifesting and realizing they're not just sinners, like realizing that they have power and they have, the ability to create with spirit, and the ability to, they just have power. Whereas in the Piscean era, everybody felt powerless or felt that there was a greater power, not God or anything, but just like felt that they were constricted by this greater power, right? Whereas Aquarius feels like they're the revolutionary, like the power is in them and they can create a change in how we live. And so you definitely see that now. Like, it's so crazy how this is happening because this is definitely an act of God. Like, the dismantling of specific of different institutions, like the Aquarius hate rules and institutions, and like anything that constricts their freedom, like, is hated by the Aquarius. So for us to be in a situation where there's a pandemic and we're literally forced to evacuate these institutions and our ways of living, like, this is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. It needs to be like that. It's happening like this for a reason because we're coming into the age of Aquarius. And it's going to create permanent change. Like, we're not going to come out of this the same that we went into this. You see all the changes now. You see the government changing. Well, here, it's like a shit show. It's like a cartoon. It turned into something really silly. And you see the school system changing, like, in terms of how we teach our students and kids in general, like, kids in general not caring at all about the stuff they're being taught in school, which is, I get it. Honestly, I get it, because what are we teaching them? What are we teaching them? Like, we're not teaching them about life. We're teaching them about specific subjects to get you into a specific school so that you learn what they want you to learn. Like, Aquarius is not about that. It ain't about following the steps. And there's nothing wrong with following the steps to get there, but it's not for everybody. So, like, coming into the age of Aquarius, you're going to see those rebels. You're going to see the rebellious nature of the children, and I've experienced it firsthand. And when you're on the other end of it, it's frustrating. But you also get it. Like, when I was in the schools and got off of work, I'm like, these kids have a point. Like, why? What are we doing? What are we doing, really? So that was like, So you see rebellion in children, and not just rebellion. It's about, you see rebellion, but you also see creativity, and you also see them doing their own thing and understanding in their own way at a younger age, which is wild to me. But it's so cool. Like, it's just about observing these changes that are happening. And we're like, we're looking for huge, massive shifts. And I feel like this pandemic is definitely a huge, massive shift. But, like, before that, you got to look at the little things. Well, they're not little, but you got to look at the changes. The changes are going to show you the shifts in the era, like. And so, like, everybody's on manifestation right now. What? That was sacred, secret knowledge, like manifestation. Nobody was on that, and now everybody is on that because people are seeing their power. People are understanding how the world works. Even that hidden information I'm just talking about, like, with Thoth and Hermes. Well, Thoth is the Egyptian deity, like, who is responsible for the sacred knowledge and everything. But in Greek mythology or Greek history, is Hermes. But they're the same. They're one and the same. So it's just like the symbolism for that specific energy, that specific deity. So all the sacred knowledge that was hidden from us before is no longer hidden. And we got to understand that that's the knowledge that we're using to create our lives. So people on this manifestation thing from, when The Secret came out a minute ago. But, like, it's normal now. Everybody talks about manifestation like it's nothing, like, and we take that for granted. So, like, see these shifts and don't take them for granted. So we're coming out of an era where we believed everything that we were told, and we didn't question, because questioning it was something wrong. So now we're coming out of that into. So us not questioning it, we're just taking everything for, for what it was, for, how people did it before us, and just not questioning, period, not questioning who we are, our existence, anything. Aquarius is like the opposite of that. So we're going to come in. So at this point, we're coming into an age where we're questioning everything, and especially who we are, right? And so it brings greater knowledge, because in the Piscean era, everything was self-sacrificing. So you have to sacrifice yourself in order to fit into an ideal. So it's about, through the Piscean era, you're living kind of in agony, and like, to be alive was like a bad thing. It's like something that you have to endure, right? If you think about every religion talking about, things, about heaven after death and life after death. So it's really about having to endure this life right now. And we're coming into an age where it's not about that anymore. It's not going to be about that, because people are going to start finding themselves and finding what they love and what they like and how they love it and how they like it. And life is not going to be so, it's not going to be so sacrificial. Like, it's not going to be so agonizing to just be alive, So I had an opportunity to go to this ashram and kind of like study like the Vedanta tradition. They said it's not a religion, but it's more of a tradition. And a big part of it, we were studying the Atma Bodha, which was interesting. Like, it was about existence and enlightenment and coming into enlightenment. And there was just parts of it that I really loved and really resonated with, but there was a part that I really didn't. And it was about coming into one with God, and that oneness being nothing at all, right? So like, that blew my mind. Not saying, and I believe in the oneness of God, like God is all and God is nothing, like, but nothing is not like the concept of nothing and how they describe it. And it's like, so it was like stripping away everything from you, right? Who you are, and in order to be at oneness, be one with God, and be in a blissful state. And it was so freaking, it wasn't confusing to me. I get what they're saying, but I think it's the absolute opposite. I believe the absolute opposite. That enlightenment is gonna require you to claim every bit of yourself, rather than losing your identity, thinking like, even claiming that ego and understanding that part of you. Like, they were telling us to, and I get what they're saying. They were like, we were meditating all day, but they gave people new names. You relinquish your name and what you do, so you let go of any worldly pleasure, period. And I was like, nah. Nah, this is not it. This is not it. Not only is this not for me, but like, this is us just following an ancient tradition. Like, when you really think about it, or if you read between the lines of the Atma Bodha, like, or if you read between the lines of these holy texts, you realize that you might be reading it wrong. Like, relinquish everything? Like, no. All of this was given to me by God, so why would I need to, like, let go of it, and all of it, like all of my gifts, all of my talents, my name, my way of living. No, I think it's literally enlightenment. It's literally the opposite of that. Freeing yourself up so that you can claim those things. And then, but not attaching yourself to those things, knowing that you are the spark of God. Like, that's that blissful energy that you get back to. You are that specific spark of God, right? And the bonus on that is that you have the ability to live how you want to live in this world, create how you want to create in this world. And I just have this feeling. I just have this feeling that from now on, from this point on, from this quarantine on, we're gonna get to places where people are gonna embrace themselves. We're already there. We're already there. People are doing that already. But I'm talking about embracing themselves and not giving up, not trying to define themselves, not trying to put themselves in a box, no matter what that may look like. Like, sometimes you just can't define something. It's just not that on the nose. Like, and I feel like that's where people's true personality comes in, like in between the lines. So people are going to stop defining themselves. People are going to stop identifying with, specific things. They're just going to be themselves and be okay being themselves. I see it. I know that it's coming. I know that it's going to be like that. Like, so I'm excited. But this shift in the era, like, I think this is what 2012 is about. Everybody was like, oh, nothing happened in 2012. Like, changes don't come like that. When it change, I mean, certain changes come like that, but that ain't how life works. Like, things happen over time. Like, things happen over time. And it's going to come when it comes. Divine timing is at play. That's what's at play. When I say we don't have control, it's because the divine has control. So I suggest we all tap into that. Like, and that's just tapping into yourself, really, and your intuition and what you want and what you know. We know more than we think we know. We just gotta calm down and quiet ourselves and listen, because we know. Yeah. So the Age of Aquarius. So we're on that cusp of the Piscean Era and the Age of Aquarius. This is a good change. This is going to be a positive change. You see it now. There's chaos. There's not because it's changes. There's gonna be chaos. So there's chaos and all this shit. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's the end. It's the end. It's the end." There's no end. There's no end. Even if there's an end of the physical, there's no end, you guys. We're gonna evolve. We're evolving. We're divine. We're evolving. We're changing. We're gonna shift. We're gonna get balanced out. We're gonna know ourselves more. We're gonna wake up, okay? This is about waking up. Pisces was literally the dreamer, like, and Aquarius is literally the revolutionary. So you're gonna see, and this revolution will be televised. It's gonna be YouTubeized. So the basis of it is during the Piscean era, the truth was hidden from us, right? Truth was hidden. So the hidden secrets, hidden knowledge, that's the truth. That's the truth of who we are and the power that we possessed. And it was hidden. And come Age of Aquarius, that's out the door. That's out the door. Nothing is hidden anymore. Everything is head on. And there's no more secrets. The knowledge is out there for you to gain. If you're not getting it through the internet, you can get it intuitively. Everybody knows about meditation now, like, and how powerful meditation is. And guaranteed, if you go seeking for knowledge, you will find it. You will find it, and you'll find it and keep finding it. Okay, so we're not getting answers here. It's not like the truth in terms of definitive answers. It's the truth in terms of enlightenment and expansion of your consciousness, right? and understanding that we're not bound to specific ideals, right? And that perfectionism is not this one thing, it's subjective. So you can be a perfect you, or you can strive ahead to be a better you, but that doesn't have to be at the standard of somebody else, right? You don't have to compare yourself to anybody else's standard of who they are or what they believe perfection is, or you know what I'm saying? Being authentic in yourself is going to liberate you, and it's going to enlighten you, and it's going to allow you to learn more and to gain more knowledge.